So what are the types of polymorphism? We discussed two, right? One is overloading and overriding. Overloading is same method name, different type of parameters or different number of parameters, right? So what is overriding? Overriding is
same method, same parameter, and same return types.
And the method in the class override the method in the superclass is called method override.
means, again, can you repeat? Sorry, missed it.
The same method present in the both the superclass and subclass. Then the method in the subclass overrides the method in the superclass. Then it is called as method overriding.
Very good. So if you are having same signature, we should not have any parameter changes. Nothing should be changed, right? So it should be same parent to child. A child also having the same method and parent is also having same method. Then it's called overriding, right? Why it is called in dynamic polymorphism or runtime polymorphism? Why? Because in this example, you can see when we are having object of car, it will call car brakes. If it is having bike, it will call bike, right? Based on the object, same object reference will behave differently, right? So that's why it's called dynamic polymorphism or runtime polymorphism, right? What are the three names of overloading? Very good. Static, compile, and overloading. Overriding, what are the three names?
Dynamic polymorphism, runtime polymorphism, method overriding.
Method overriding. Very good. Good. So I'm happy people are answering. Okay. So now let's move. Now the challenge is like we are having now multiple things, right? So one thing is like, let me create some examples so that I will explain you. Okay. Now let's go with same examples like vehicle. Right? I'm taking vehicle. Now I'm having one thing called name. Right? Private string name. So we need to set and get, right? I want to create a constructor for this, right? What I'm doing, I'm planning to create a constructor. How we can do that? There are two types of constructors, right? We discussed. What are the two types? Default constructor.
No constructor
No R
parameterized.
constructor. Very good. I love it, right? So one is default constructor. Default constructor means we don't need to create, right? So automatically it will get created by compiler. No, I don't want the default constructor to be written by compiler. Then I need to override. I can override a default constructor. How I can do? I can use my no R constructor. Okay. So how I can write no R constructor? Right click. Generate constructor using fields or using superclass. This is one keyword which I want to teach. As of now, we'll go with the fields. I'm just taking, you can see constructor created, right? So what is the definition of constructor? We'll discuss, right? So it should be starting with the same as a class name, right? It will not have any return type, right? This super is coming, I will delete it. As of now, we no need it. After I'm explaining, we will add it, okay? So now I'm having vehicle with constructor, right? So vehicle is a parent class of whom? Two childs it's having, right? So what are the two childs? Bike and car. Very good, right? It's a bike and car. There are two childs for this, right? So now I am coming back in car, right? So there is nothing is here, but you can see one red color in front of car, right? It's showing error. Why? Why means you are having parent constructor, but you are not using it or you are not overriding it. You should minimum use it or you should override it, right? So now when I'm keeping the mouse, you can see the error. Can anyone read? Define. Previously, it was not asking this question, right? Previously, also I am having constructors. Default constructor is getting created, right? Previously, I don't have error. Now, when I created for parent, now it's asking question, where is yours? Previously, it will not ask that. Why? Why? Because default constructors automatically overrides. If you're adding any constructor on your own, it's your responsibility to override a parent one. Means if you're adding same, if I'm writing vehicle, I'm going back, right? So if I'm writing no R constructor, for example, if I'm removing this, right? So now error will not come because I am overriding default constructor, right? So I don't have any problem because I'm using override default constructor. Default constructor, all the places it will come. Parent also default constructor will come. Child also default constructor will come. No problem. Okay. अब बच्चे को नाम ही रखे नहीं. Okay. तो क्या करते हैं? बाबू, मुन्ना, छोटू ऐसा बुला लेते हैं, right? So default names will be there. So no problem. If you are placing name, you need to give the details, right? So now default constructor is there, right? So if I'm saving it, you don't see that error in car. It went. There is no error, right? If no, I want to have that parameterized constructor, then it will not allow you to go away without creating default constructor. So now child, it is forcing child to create a constructor, right? So let's create the constructor. Okay, I will create one constructor. How to create a constructor? I will right click, source, generate constructor using superclass. Using superclass because I am setting the value where parent class, right? So I need to set super from superclass only because it's coming from parent. So now I'm generating. You can see there is one special keyword is coming, right? Super. Right now I am passing the value to parent. Parent is setting the value, right? So this super, why we are calling super, why we are not calling like vehicle? We can write vehicle, right? New vehicle, right? Why we are calling super? So normally here also it's very good. क्या बोलते हो? We'll say, right? So obedient. They will not call with the parent name, right? मैं अब क्या बुलाते हैं? अब बुलाते हैं. Why you are not calling with name? Yeah, same here also. Little different, I will tell you, because father mother will be alone, right? So chacha कितने रहते हैं? So many are minimum one. If you are having minimum one, you will call chacha only. Yes or no? If you are having 2-3 chachas, then बड़ा छोटा will call by name, right? Anwar chacha, Asgar chacha, Akram chacha, because other people should be aware, right? So if you are having a single, you won't call with name. So in Java, the advantage is it will have only a single parent. You don't need to call with a name. You just call with a super. Okay. So another thing, if you are calling yourself, right? तुम्हारे कने किताब है समझो. अब मेरा लैपटॉप है. It's my laptop. I'm saying what? It's Ani's laptop. No, I'm calling. It's my laptop. Right? I need to tell the name. Right? So ये मेरा laptop. This is mine. This is mine. Right? So that's why we are having here. You need to understand two keywords. One is this. This is means मेरा. Okay, mine. Super means parent, my father, right? I no need to tell the name. Here, when I am calling parent constructor, I no need to call with the name. I will just call with super. But parent to child, खाली एक ही बच्चा था. There could be many sons, right? So when parent to son, if you are calling, you need to specify complete object. Okay, but child to parent always you can use super keyword. Now, if I am calling super constructor, I will call super only. Understood? Even if I want to call the super methods variable, right? So I can write like this, super dot set. It is calling which value? Not this class, parent class value. How I'm setting the value? Super. I'm not creating any new vehicle V is equal to new vehicle. No, not required. If I'm calling my parent, I no need to worry. I will directly call by using super keyword. I no need to call by using any object. Got it? Got it or not? Right. So first understand vehicle. What vehicle is having? Vehicle is a parent of all childs here, right? So car is there, bike is there, right? So now vehicle is having one variable, one member variable, right? So it will get inherited from parent to child. It is private, that's why it will not get a inherited. Private will get inherited to parent to child? No. So that's why we created one constructor, vehicle, public vehicle. It's a not a private constructor, it's a public constructor. So now if I want to create vehicle object, I cannot use default constructor. Why? Because default constructor I cannot create. Why? If I am creating a constructor, default constructor will get deleted. So now I am passing with, I am having one constructor with a parameter, right? So now, till now you understand, right? So vehicle is one class, which is a parent of two classes. It is having one member variable, which is private, that cannot be accessed from childs, even childs, because it's a private. So that's why I created setter, public setter methods, a public getter method. Apart from that, I created one public constructor, right? So now I'm going to create a child. Child will not allow me to create without initializing parent. Why? Because I am inheriting and parent is not having any default no or constructor. So it will force me to set that value. Otherwise, if I am not setting that value, what will happen? It will show me error. So you saw that error, right? So when I am not creating any constructor, what will happen? It will show me error. Why? Because parent is having some constructor which need to be initialized from child, right? So now how to do that? I need to create a constructor. Right click, source, generate from super class, right? And generate. Now what happened? You can see I am taking another constructor, I am passing it to father, right? Super constructor. So no, I want to have I want to use the default constructor only. Then what I can do is I can go with the default constructor also, or this one also, public public car. I need to call super dot, right? Then set, or I can call by default, or I can go with its car name, right? So you can say right? So I can by force to take always Maruti when I'm creating it. Got it? Right? So I need to pass anyhow. I cannot escape to set without a parent value. That's why when you have seen, let me delete once again the vehicle one, right? I will delete this as of now. Okay, I'm deleting it, right? So now no problem. Why? All the default constructors will get a for its parents. So if I want to create default constructor also, now what will happen? Let's see. Okay, I will delete it, right? Now I'm creating default constructor only, without no arguments. Source, generate, constructor using superclass, right? Generate. What happened? Right? It's calling its parent default constructor, right? Super, just it's also blank, parent is also blank, right? Even if I am deleting it internally, it will call. Why? Default constructor only. All default constructor will call each other. You no need to worry about it.
This is mentioning only because of override, huh?
Correct.
Because we are using the override here in the before public void breaks.
Correct.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Got it, right? Any questions? So it's your responsibility. If parent is having any argument constructor, you need to set the parent first. Then you need to continue doing. Another thing is, these are one of the interview questions they asked me. All right, so I will let me write the code back. Okay, I'm adding one R constructor to parent. Right now it's showing error. Right, so I will write again public, or I will go with car. Right, constructor. Then I will write that I will give some name. Right, I'm just passing one value. Right, so now they add right this vehicle type petrol or diesel. Just I'm adding one more variable, right? So can I add like this? They given question like this. Okay. So they are saying whether this code is valid or not. Okay. So why this is not valid is you cannot write any line before parent constructor. It's your responsibility when you're creating a constructor with parent constructor. It should be first line. Superclass should be first line of constructor. Understood? So you can keep the mouse here. You can see what is the error. Means you cannot escape it. First you need to set parent, then only you can able to proceed to next line. Otherwise it will not allow you to write next line. This one they will give exam in a question and they will give you 4 options. Whether you will get compilation error, whether compilation will success. So like that they will give this question. It's little confusing. Normally you will believe like what is the wrong, right? So anyhow we are calling it. No. So constructor, if you are calling parent constructor, that should be first line of your statement. You cannot move it to next line. Got it? So now to correct this, what I need to do? I need to move it to next line. Now error gone. Right. So now let's discuss. Let me repeat it. What is a constructor? Constructor is a block of code which will help you to initialize the object at the time of object creation. Right. So constructor will be the same name as a class name. It will not have any return type. Right. That's we know previously. Right. So now we are discussing about parent constructor. Right. So parent is having default constructor. You don't need to worry. It will automatically get overridden whenever you are having initialize whenever you are creating child constructors. No, if we are having parent is having any constructor manually created with arguments, then it will not allow you to create child constructor without initializing parent constructor. And parent constructor you can call by using the keyword super. Super is the keyword which will help you to initialize parent values. If you want to call parent values or parent methods, you should go with a super constructor. Okay. So till now, any questions? Can I proceed next? Right. So now we are having super constructor. Right. So now in this case, where even if you are going with bike will also have the problem. Bike, brake parent also, vehicle is having constructor. That also I need to set. How I can set? I can write super bike constructor, right? So I will write a string name, right? Then I will write super. Right now error gone. So all child should write a super constructor because super constructor is having argument constructor. Okay. So this one is clear. Now you can see another error, right? Bike vehicle. So भी error आएगा कहीं बोला I added argument constructor. Argument constructor is there, then it will delete its default constructor. So there is no default constructor here. So it's mandatory to I pass the value. I cannot escape from it. So what is the default? What is the value for this constructor? Vehicle. I need to pass the name. And one, right? For example, here now error gone, right? Bike. I need to pass, right? Right. So now error gone. Why car is not having error? Anyone can guess?
Already have
Car default constructor created or no R constructor. If you are going there, you can see car by default I added Mercedes and petrol, right? So I will not get error, right? So now bike vehicle V I need to pass. Right? So no errors. Now I understand, right? So I can pass the value. Now I'm passing value to bullet bike, but where the value is going, this bullet is going. This is not going to bike, it is going to parent constructor. How it is going? First it is coming here, right? Then it is calling super. So automatically it will go to parent. Got it? So any questions still here? It's a bit confusing. When you are practicing more, you will understand. Now let me repeat again. Okay. So what is constructor? Constructor is nothing but a block of code which initializes the object at the time of a object creation. I want these keywords to be there. If someone is asking a question, you should not think and tell your own answer. Okay, you can say like, sir, you are forcing like in childhood teachers will force, right? So normally I face a lot of problem when they are asking, they are using such keywords which are not part of IT, right? So sir, one son is there, one father is there, right? So constructor means they are saying something differently. Okay, that could be true. Meaning wise, that could be true, but that should be having same terminology which we are using as a Java developer. Got it? So we need to say a block of code which will initialize object at the time of object creation. How will create object creation? Object O is equal to new object with a constructor, right? What is the new will do? It will allocate memory. What is the constructor? Other details? It will have the same name as a class name. It will not have any return types, right? So now we know the constructor. Okay. So constructor will be having two types, right? So default constructor, no arg constructor, and argument constructor. Default, I will consider default and no arg. Some people will consider as the same, right? So because both will be not having any arguments. Right? So default constructor. What is default constructor? If you are not creating any constructor, that constructor automatically will get created with no arguments. So you don't need to, you will not, it will not be visible also. It will automatically created by the compiler, right? No, I want to create constructor. Then what it will do? Compiler will back off. It will not create any constructor if you are going to create a constructor, right? Okay. So for example, I will tell you one example, like you are going exam, right? Without any pencil, right? So they will provide pencil. If you are taking your pencil, then they won't give you, right? So similarly, when here also, when you are creating a constructor, then compiler will back off. It will not create. Okay. It will not going to create once you are creating. Make sure you should not get confused. Default constructor is a constructor which is not created by us. Even if you are creating or not, it's there. If you are creating, it will not be there. If you are writing a single constructor, any constructor, argument or regardless of any constructor, if you are creating, compiler will not create any constructor for you, it will back out. So most of the people will do this mistake. They will add R constructor and they will try to call default constructor. It's not there. They'll say like it was working previously, how it is not working? Because you created it, right? So now there is no need of having any constructor because you given it, right? So it will back out. Okay. So now in this case, I created one constructor with an argument constructor. So I cannot use default constructor anymore. Why? Because I created argument constructor. Now For vehicle parent, I created a argument constructor with a name, right? So now all the childs will have to force. They cannot escape from it because they are inheriting it. They need to set that value. Okay. So how they will set? By using super keyword. They need to create their R constructor and they need to pass the value from child to parent because they need to initialize it first. Yes or no? Right? So it will automatically happen when you are adding in parent, automatically you need to, all the childs will get forced to add argument constructors. Okay. So hope everyone got clear this. I repeated it a couple of times. If you are having any questions, just let me know. Hit him. So what is the definition of constructor? Initialize object at the time of object creation. So what are the other properties of constructor? It will not have any return type.
కానీ రిటర్న్ అదని చెప్పి ఇస్తారు కదా కోడింగ్ క్రియేట్ చేసేటప్పుడు ఇస్తారు కదా.
ఇక్కడ దెబ్బలు పడుతున్నాయి ఆసిఫ్ ని. ఓకే కొడుతున్నావు ఇక్కడ ఆసిఫ్ ని. Builder is no more here, right? So we are not discussing about builder. So why you are
But
so Ragdal also did. Okay. So constructor will not have any return type. You need to understand this. Okay. If you are writing, then what is the meaning of difference between method and constructor? Right? There is no difference. Why you need to create constructor? You can use setter getter, right? So constructor will help you at the time of object creation itself. Setter, once object created, you can call setter, right? So that's the thing. Any more questions? If offline people are, online people are safe. They will not get any hit.
can you repeat the definition of constructor?
I won't repeat. Golden words cannot be repeated. Okay. So now let's move to next part. Now we are saying like, okay. So here I'm going to introduce some new keywords for you. Okay, which are very important keywords, right? So one is called final. Okay. You hear about final. Right? Final के बारे में सुन गए नहीं? What do you mean by final? Last. Right? So it's last. Final version को तो क्या? We are not going to have that model again. The final version. You cannot able to. Okay. The warning is final. So तो क्या?
ఇదే నీకు లాస్ట్
ఇదే నీకు last warning. Next time పడతాయి. Right? So final is a keyword which is very serious keyword. Normally it will be used when we are working on this particular area. Okay. So now consider many parents will give properties to child. Right? So बोला क्या बोलते हैं तो दिए बाद या को हमारे दादा परदादा का घर. This is from our ancestors. Don't touch it. If you are selling it, we will kill you. Right? Even you should not modify it. Right? So you know France. France, what the rule is like? Government will safeguard the houses. There is one community in one area. No one will touch their houses because it's coming from centuries. Right? They will keep on persisting it. Their houses only, their own property, but they should not able to modify it. They are getting from parents to child, but it's a final. Means you can chunna ginna bhi maane ko nahi. It's not your responsibility. That will be taken care by government and they will be persisted. Right? So similarly here also, some parents what it will do, they will give, but they will say don't touch it. Right? So that type of things we will make sure that we will force by using this keyword called final. Let's understand final a bit more. So this is independent concept. Okay, but we will link it first. Okay, so now how we can do that? Okay, now I'm creating one class. I'm going very first class student. याद है? जरा तो याद है नहीं? Student के बारे में याद है? student में what we did? Private into roll number. क्या है? Private string name and then private string m1 private string m2 okay private string अच्छा भाई कर तो कर सर को एक लगाओ बोलते क्या okay so now I created it right so another keyword which we created remember private sorry string क्या भाई सब जने खामोश
Fast string equal what take No, I was just kidding. I was just kidding.
okay so now we are used to write this right so now you can see like pass marks we used to write right कितना pass mark है 35 right so normally what we'll do when we are writing a code right so let's write the say, source getter setter or getter constructor right so how much fast I'm writing this code you can understand right so all the things will get written automatically most of the times right so roll number is there I will use constructor also source generate constructor using fields right so now I'm having all the values I don't want pass marks to be set I'm deleting it right because pass marks always 35 right so now you can see I'm having set pass marks also right so now here itself I will write main method for example for example purpose only I'm writing okay I created a main method right so now I'm saying like I want just to check whether student is passed or not simple condition I'm trying okay so I'm writing here is passed right boolean it's old code only I'm not repeating it because you are already aware of this code right so it's my favorite example so now what I'm doing m1 into I will take m1 m2 m3 not required because it's a object I can use this keyword right I'll write this dot m1 is greater than the pass marks I'm already having pass marks right and this also not required because I'm not passing no confusion just right m2 greater than or equal to pass marks and m3 greater than or equal to pass marks right return else return right
Why this is not written on the other integers, variables?
not understood
No, this dot, if this dot m1 greater than pass marks and m2.
yes right so this
Yeah,
one is not
this-
required I can remove this part also because by default if you are not having any parameters with confusion name for example I can pass like this right in this case I don't know whether it's a parameter or local value right in this case I definitely need to write a this dot m1 right so but I am not having any confusing name I don't have argument then I don't need this right so remember this when we are getting a constructor if you are passing parameters here itself you can see right so here this int and this int is same but this one is an argument this one is a coming from outside right so sorry this is a member variable and this one is a argument which is coming from outside to avoid the confusion this is local this is coming from outside so in this case to avoid this confusion we are having this is mine this is coming from outside this is mine this is coming from outside to understand this we did it okay so now if I want here, I don't have anything, right? So I no need to pass it because it's already a member variable. So if I want to write this, I allowed. I can write this. There is no problem in writing this, but not required. Why? I don't have any confusion. I'm not passing any parameters here. Got it?
If you're passing parameter, then it is mandatory to write this.
If you are having both are having same name, arguments and member variables having same name, you need to differentiate by using this keyword. Now another thing you notice is like super keyword is coming first line, right? It's calling its parents a default constructor, right? I can delete it also, no problem. I'm calling or not calling, it will get called. Okay. So now this pass marks is there, right? So I am writing object of the student. Right, so I can write one. I can write name as and I'm giving marks. One is you can see I'm passing pass marks also. Is it valid? Pass marks from here. No, mistakenly if I pass, right? Right. So I'm not passing here now. Three values is okay, right? So now what I will do, I will say set pass marks. I'm passing it 45. But what I'm doing here, instead of 35, what I'm doing 45. Is it valid? I should not mistakenly also, I should not change a pass marks. It should be always a same value, right? In this case, what I will use is private int, right? I will write final. If I'm writing as a final in front of variable, it will become constant. No one able to change it. If someone is trying to change it also, it will throw error. Okay. So now, right? So when I'm running this, you can see here what happened. Setter getter kane kya error? क्या रखा है हाँ? So final keyword, what it will do is, if you are adding some value, it will avoid any accidental modification. You cannot change this value. This is a constraint. Pass mark should not be changed. Other things can be changed. Name can be changed. Marks can be changed. Pass marks should not change, right? So that's why we, in front of variable, if you're adding this, then it will become, what it will become? Constant. You cannot able to change it. Subsequent line, you cannot able to change it. What this final keyword will do, it will not allow you to change the value of a variable, right? So now, next thing what I will do is, I will call in front of method. For example, I'm going here, okay? Vehicle, right? So I'm having brakes, and I don't want these brakes to be overwritten by child. So parent क्या बोलता मैं दे दूं तुझे brakes, but override करना नहीं, तो override करा तो तेरे टांग ना तोड़ा दो, फिर बोलना समझे. What he will do is, I will write public final void brakes. If I'm saving it, all the code will get errors, right? Bikes करने के बाद कोई कहता है because parent is saying you are supposed to take my brakes only. You are not supposed to use your own brakes. You cannot override. Okay. First point I'm saying, when I'm adding in front of variable final keyword, it means you cannot change that variable. If I'm adding in front of method name, right? So then it will say you cannot override it. No child can able to override. You can use it. Okay, मैं देता हूँ भाई हमारे दादा की साइकिल. Okay, तू इसे टच करा क्या तू करा? मैं तुझे बदल डाल दूँ मन की साइकिल को बदलता नहीं. Okay, so in this case, what we will do? We have to use it. So I cannot override it. I need to delete it. No choice. Why? Parent is forcing you us to use so on, right? So keyword, final keyword, if it comes in front of variable, you cannot change variable. If it is coming in front of method, you cannot override it. You cannot override from child methods. Now the third place is if I am writing in front of bike, is there, right? If I am writing in front of vehicle, public final class vehicle, it means what? No, it will not have any change. It's final class. You cannot create extends keyword by using vehicle. Will not work. When I'm saving it, you can see again we'll get errors. If I'm going here, you'll see error. When I'm keeping the mouse there, you can see because final class vehicle, you cannot create a child for vehicle, right? So if you are creating one by one, all the childs are there. Finally, you are having very mature class, right? So then you know to create it further. There are some models of cars, right? So Maruti Zen will come now. You cannot create another Maruti Zen model, right? So they will say like this is finally released. We are not going to support anywhere. You need to take another vehicles. Even they stopped the creation of manufacturing, not only manufacturing, maintenance, spare parts also they stopped, right? You need to get older one only, right? So those things they will say like in officially they have to say that we are going to stop this model from this month and this year. We are not going to create any models, right? They will stop. It means what? Final. You cannot create any next version of Zen. Got it? उसका child से फिर को बनाते नहीं. It stopped. Right? So in that case, final keyword is having three different meaning in three different scenarios. One is if you are adding in front of variable, it will become constant. You cannot change that value. If you are adding in front of method, you cannot override. Okay, use the same keyword. I'm asking you to use keywords means I literally I ask you people question. They are telling correct, but they are not using terminology. Okay, if they are not using terminology, they are not having experience. If they are not having experience, we'll ask them to go by, goodbye, right? We'll not take them. So use the same terminology, same keywords which I'm using, try to repeat that one. Okay. So I want you to note down. That's why you can see like I'm giving maximum 2 lines of definitions, right? So it's easy to remember. So just have that memorization. Okay. So one says when I'm adding in front of variable, it will become a constant. Final keyword, if I'm adding in front of variable, it will become constant. I cannot change that value. Okay. Second one is if I'm adding in front of a method, then I cannot override it. Override means that's it, right? So it will give error. Third, if I'm adding in front of a class, it cannot be inherited. That's also fine, but it cannot be inherited. Final class is done. So any questions still here? Mistakenly also, if you want to avoid, right? So final pass mark should not be changed. Yes or no? So normally previously we used to change the pass marks also, right? If you're adding pass marks as 0, everyone will get pass, right? Mistakes can happen. To avoid that, what we'll do? We'll use final. If you're adding final, you cannot have setter methods. Setter methods won't work. Why? Because you added the final keyword. Okay.
If we use final keyword for the child class, it cannot extend it to child. We cannot inherit.
Child class is no problem. Child class can be final. Parent class should not be final, right? So here you can see vehicle parent is final. If I'm removing this, right? Bike can be final, no problem, no tension. Yeah. So child can have final. After bike childs will not be there, right? So the class where we are adding final, after that child will not come. पूरे errors निकालेंगे. Why this error is coming? Anyone guess? वो सब कहाँ फाइनल कर पाए?
Starting
Break is there in
parents.
parent, right? Which is having final keyword. So where I need to go? I need to go to vehicle. I need to remove break in front of final in front of breaks, right? So students, why I'm getting the error? I need to remove setup,
Pass marks.
right? Final value I should not change. So now all the errors gone. I cannot use set method. Got it? So can anyone repeat what is the keyword final?
There is anything beyond that, then you need to add. For example, if you are wanted to stop.
See, he's saying correct, but he's not using terminology. Don't you use the terminology? Can anyone else want to try? What is final keyword? Huzaifa, can you repeat?
Yes, sir. When we use final before a variable, it becomes a constant. When we use final before a method, we cannot override. When we use final before a class, we cannot inherit, sir.
Sana?
There, when we use final keyword in front of a variable, we cannot change the value of it. If we use final keyword in front of a class, we cannot inherit it. If we use final keyword in front of a method name, we cannot override it.
Exactly. You missed one keyword. Can you guess what you missed? Some keywords which I said. You didn't say constant, right? So order also, try
Okay.
to maintain order also. That will help you. I'm starting from bottom, right? So variable. After
Okay.
variable, we are coming to method, right? So after method, we are
Yes.
coming to class.
Yes.
So
Oh,
it will have a sequence, okay?
yes, sir.
Good.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Pratyusha,
So when we add final before variable, it is constant, sir. When we add method, then it is override. We cannot override, sir. In class, we cannot inherit, sir.
Vajida, Vajida, are there? Ashfaq,
So if you are using final keyword,
no, हाँ बोलो.
if you are using final keyword
Hmm.
in front of variables, it will be constant. If you are using the final keyword in front of methods, it cannot override. If you are using the final keyword in front of class, it cannot inherit.
Very good. Right. These key keywords we are going to use in future most frequently. Okay. So please remember this. Okay. So now, any questions still here? Can you move next step? Okay, because tomorrow again no class, right? I want you to have a little more context to be explored, right? So now let's come back to our previous topic. Yesterday also few people asked this question like multiple inheritance, right? So why what is the problem when we are using? Now you are seeing like super keyword is there, right? So only advantage of super keyword is because only one parent is there, right? So you don't need to call with a parent name, right? So directly you can say super. So what if you are having two? It will create ambiguity. Let's try that. Okay. So what I will do is I will write another all uh, create another motor vehicle. Okay. So then I created it. Something. Okay. Just it's this is what I'm saying, like. Right. This one. Okay. So now I'm going to add this class also as a parent to bike. Okay. This is my bike. So how I need to do? I need to add a comma. Then I should say. So what we are getting? Error, right? We cannot able to. You cannot add two parents. Java doesn't support, but C++ will have this option. You can add extend. You can add multiple classes. But here it's compilation error. You cannot able to create it. Okay. So Java doesn't support a multiple inheritance. Okay. So now there are many features which need it. Which needs it. For example, let's see. You are using mobile phone, right? So mobile phone is not only a phone anymore, right? Just you are using it for calling. No, you are doing many things. You are taking cam, right? Camera also. It's a camera also, right? It's also a networking device, right? So you used to chat, right? So not only that, you are having many other things which you are using by using mobile. Yes or no? Alarm, clock. Yes or no? तो किसके हाथ में वॉच देखते हैं बहुत कम आदमी के हाथ में वॉच दिखती है अब राइट सो मोस्ट ऑफ द केसेस यू आर गोइंग विद मोबाइल right? So it is not only a single, it is having hundreds of things, hundreds of parents are there. Yes or no? Mobile is there, clock is there, right? Camera is there, right? So all the things are there. So how we can manage this type of feature when it is not allowing us to create a multiple inheritance? There one concept is called interface. Interface करो एक concept आता. Okay. So interface is a give us a pattern. Okay. So it just interface is like, what is the meaning of interface normally? You're saying a user interface, right? I'm talking about just interface. What is the meaning of interface? Interface what है? Blueprint of blueprint of class is one of the good definition, but it's not exactly that one. So anyone want to say what is interface? Just give me the English meaning. Anyone?
చెప్పడానికి రావట్లే ఏందో అది దానికి ఎలా చెప్పాలి
Hello, I'm audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what do you mean by interface? Okay, let me give some examples to you. Okay, so I will give you some small story. Okay, so that you can understand. Okay, so you when we are starting mobiles, right? So initially, so there are Nokia phones are there. Okay, Nokia phone is there, and we are having a just basic model. Just think like basic model. We are having Samsung mobile, right? So we are having Lava. And then we are having something, what I forget, BlackBerry, right? So those mobiles are there. Each one is having different chargers. That one Nokia will be small pin, right? And Samsung will be having different. Still, you can see like Apple phone is having different type of charger, right? Chargers are different, right? So what is the advantage of using different chargers? Disadvantage only, right? If you're having two mobiles, you need to carry two chargers, right? So now that problem is not there. You know why? Now you can use Nokia charger with a Samsung charger with a, right? MI, right? So all are using C, right? So now what is the difference? These are different companies, right? So how they are using same type of chargers? What happened within them? So what are the steps they followed to make it a single?
Same plan.
See, yeah, I'm different company. I'm manufacturing differently. You are manufacturing differently. How your charger is working with me? Huh?
Charging port.
Port is same, then it's enough. You're not using one. I'm expecting one keyword there, right? Even my laptop charger I can use to charge my mobile. Yes or no? So how these all they are using, but one risk is when I'm using laptop charger with my mobile, there is a chance of boom, right? Because the power which is coming is more expected, right? Than expected in mobile, right? So what are the agreement? What they did so that everyone will be following that? Another example I will give. Okay, so you are having this plug, right? Switchboard and plugs. Yes or no? This one is used for my charger also, right? This one is used for mixie also. This one is for TV also, right? So how they are using this plug in all the places? How it is working? All India, you can go and you can see this type of plugs only, right? How it is happening?
Easy to connect.
I'm expecting one keyword. Anyone want
Sir,
to try that keyword? Yes,
sir,
ma'am.
it designed in such a way to interact with any device or
Very
something.
good design, right? So interact with any device. So how they know that this design will interact with all? How they know? One keyword, yeah. Simple keyword.
Function.
Huh?
Function.
Standards. Okay. International standards, Indian standards. Okay. Indian style, right? Indian standard bathroom, right? So what is this standard is means what means they will note down the rules, right? And they will share with each other and they will have common agreement. Understood, right? So for example, when you are having these doors created, right? Doors will be most of the cases when you go and see like it will be all will be in same size. How they are doing? They will interact with each other. देख भाई तू अलग बनाया मैं अलग बनाया तो क्या होता? The standards will if standards are getting changed, what will happen is so for based on manufacturer we need to design something else, right? So if for example if you are going to Canada, right? So Canada you cannot use these switchboards. They are having separate. Yeah, they are having pins are different. You cannot use switchboard. Another thing, we are switching on, right? Always we used to click bottom part, right? Switch on करना होता है हम क्या करते हैं नीचे दबाते हैं ऑफ करना होता ऊपर का तुम्हें कितना लग गया समझो reverse. They will follow top one is as switch on, bottom one is switch off. So starting you will struggle a lot, right? For example, car driving. तुम देखो है
India,
India is
right side. After India, out of
right?
India, left side.
So all India you can use the same standard, but when you're going there, you need to follow their standard, right? So standard is a agreement between multiple people to interact as a same way, right? So when they are creating, when the mobile is happening, right? Different chargers are there, right? So these people will sit together. भाई तेरा चार्जर मेरा चार्जर अलग न को, okay? So we'll write down the rules how we need to create a charger, and we'll all share with each other, and we'll follow that rules. Okay, we'll follow that. That's called standard. So now all people have common agreement, and they are going to create a charger same way as other do. The advantage is, third party China ki chargers aate hain. That also will work with you. How? Because they are following the standards taken from these people. Understood? Right? So standard is a set of rules which need to be followed. Right? That's called interface. If I want to interact with you, I need to have common interface between you and me. Understood, right? So if I am not having common interface between you and me, we cannot able to connect with each other. Understood? So if I want to call you by mobile, right? You need to answer mobile only. If I'm calling directly mobile, you are answering WhatsApp, is it possible? So both should be having common interface, then only you can able to speak. If I'm calling in WhatsApp, you can be able to answer in WhatsApp only, right? So interface is something which is a way set of rules which need to follow to interact with each other. Okay. So इतनी बड़ी कहानी समझ में आई? What is a standard? Standard is a set of rules which need to be followed throughout an organization, right? So same way, if you want to create any object, you need to follow that standards, right? So here interface will define that standards. What it will do? Interface will define that standard. It will not have implementation. Understand कर लो? Implementation is different, rules are different. For example, I am writing notes that red light is for stopping, green light is for going ahead. This rule implementation where it will happen? On roads, right? But it's in paper now. Implementation, it's only a definition, right? So implementation will happen on roads, right? If I'm saying plug should have 2 holes, right? Or here we are having 5 holes, right? And it should accept multiple switch boards. I'm writing notes. I'm not implemented it. I will give it to vendor. Vendor, what will do? Means plug company or a gold medal company, they will take this standard and they will create the plug based on the interface given by me. I'm only having a definition. They are having implementation. So definition is different from implementation. So interface only defines the rules. It will not have any implementation. Got it? You need to understand what is the difference between definition and implementation, right? So now let's try one example, okay? So that you can understand. Then I will leave you alone. You can enjoy 2 days. Right click new, right? I'm creating one calculator. Same example, okay? So this one is a calculator, right? So public class calculator. I don't want class, I want interface, right? So let class will be there. Let's create another one. Instead of class, what I will take? You can see next line, one thing is called interface, right? So I'm clicking it. I'm saying calculate interface. So you can see here what is it's coming? Interface. Then what I will do is I will write public int sum int a into b. Then I will not have this body. What I will do is I will close it here itself. What I am going to do, I won't tell. This is just a rule. Okay. I'm saying I will give 2 values and I will get 1 response. I don't know how you are doing, but I am giving you a rule. You need to follow the rule like this. Then what class will do is it will take that rule. How it will take? I am coming to calculator. I am writing instead of extends, I will say implements. I will use cal interface. what I'm saying? Interface I created, I given the rules, no implementation. Just I said int sum, int A, int B. Body, return, calculation, nothing is there, right? Here what I'm saying, implements cal. Now you can see the one error is coming, right? So now calculator class responsibility is to implement interface rules. You cannot escape from it. If I'm giving you some standards, you have to follow. Police government part given red bike, red light should get stopped, right? But you are driving, what will happen?
They'll come and
You'll catch and they will find, right? So you have to follow. You cannot escape from it. So now I'm saying I will implement calculate interface. Then I have to follow. What I need to do? I need to override it. You can see I need to override some method. Then only that error will left, right? Now I'm not having that error. Now I need to implement it. Right? You understand? Definition, where is the definition? In interface. Implementation is in class. So now, if I'm again here going, okay, I'm adding another method. See, it is not having any calculation, right? I'm just defining what I want. How it works? It is there in. Oh yeah, so I will again define it. I will say sub, right? So now I don't have any implementation here. I don't have brackets, right? So when I'm coming here, if I'm saving it, you'll get error, right? Now again, it will force me to write a implementation, right? So all the definition, all the standards where I'm giving interface, but the implementation is happening in where? Interface. Okay. So now let's have some keywords. Remember, okay? So we'll close this after this in keywords we will remember. Okay. So now let's take this particular part. Okay. So now see the implementation also. Same class I took or some right. Okay. So now this one is a declaration, right? I don't have any calculation here. I'm just defining. This method is called abstract methods. What they say? Abstract methods means method without body is called abstract. Method without body. Body का तो this part is called body. ये bracket से लेको ये bracket तक उसे क्या बोलते हैं? Method body बोलते हैं. Okay? क्या बोलते हैं? Method body. A method without body is called abstract method. इसे क्या बोलते हैं? तो this is called concrete methods. क्या बोलते हैं? Concrete methods. Please remember these keywords. I will ask tomorrow or day after tomorrow. I'm expecting this keyword from you, right? What is abstract method? A method without a body, without definitions, without a declarations, right? Definitions, right? So method with body is called concrete method. Okay. So now let's come back here. So if I'm saying what is interface? Interface is nothing but a class which will have all abstract methods only. क्या बोलते हैं? Abstract method. Abstract methods को दिया? A method without a body, without definitions. Right? A method without any body is called abstract method. What is interface? Interface is like a class, but it will not have any implementation. All the methods should be abstract. What is interface? Interface is nothing but a complete abstract methods. All the methods should be abstract. Okay. So what is the implementation? You need to override all the interface methods. Once I'm writing here, I'm not using extends. I'm using implements. You need to understand that I'm using implements. It's my responsibility to implement the methods which are coming from interface. Who is the parent here? Interface is a parent, right? Concrete class is a child. Okay. So now let's, if I'm having another thing, right? So new, and I'm creating another interface. Mhm. So, okay. Scientific calculator. Okay. I'm just calculator I'm seeing, right? So then I will write, okay, cos theta something. Okay, just definition, right? So now you understand why interfaces are important. Okay. So now I'm going back to calculator. Okay? So I can add comma and I can add it's allowed. Now how many parents it's having? 2. Oh, you can see I need to implement, right? When I'm using interface, I need to follow the standards. I need to override it, right? So now you can see I'm having 2 parents, right? So how they initially I told, right? So interface is Java doesn't support multiple inheritance. Then how you will solve that problem of a multiple implementation? Then you need to say like it is having alternate. What alternate it is having? We can have multiple interfaces, right? Now I can use camera, mobile, calculator. So all those things I can use together. I no need to worry. I need to go with a single parent or single child, right?
Each and every time you are adding the interface.
Correct.
And if you use extents, there will be error which comes in.
Interface you can
Use only
implement. Okay. So questions here. You understand, right? What is the interface? Interface is nothing but fully abstract class. What is a fully abstract class? Means it's all have only abstract methods. What is abstract method? A method without a body. It is just having a declaration. It will not have any definitions. Okay. So now when we are coming to class will have concrete methods. Concrete method means it will implement, its responsibility to implement all the interface methods. It will force. If I'm saying standard, you have to follow, right? If you are implementing interface, it's your responsibility to override the methods from parent. You cannot escape from it. Okay, because it's a standard. So I'm stopping now because I don't want to extend more, but I want you to practice more on interface and classes, right? So we'll discuss some more on, again, I will start with interfaces only. We'll go a little more detail by Tuesday, but that class will be online only.
We are discussing about final keywords. We are not discussing about initial. Initial.
Initial? I don't know initial. Let's see. That you need to think. I'm creating standard that should not be followed. What does it mean?
But I was just asking.
Okay, so let's repeat what we discussed today. So we started with today constructors, right? So constructor on previously also we started, right? So constructor on inheritance, right? So inheritance, what we started, like how we can write a constructor of parent, right? So initially we start what is constructor. Again, constructor is a block of code which will initialize the object at the time of object creation. So we'll be having types of constructor, default constructor and no constructor and argument constructors. If you are writing a constructor, compiler will not create a constructor. If you are not writing, default constructor will get created. Then we discuss about how we can initialize constructor from parent. So how we can do by using super keyword. So by using super keyword, we can initialize parent constructors. So if you are writing anything, we took an example of vehicle, right? So in vehicle, if we are having a constructor with a argument values, then it's a responsibility of child to override that constructor in first line. You cannot have in a second line also, right? So when we are having a child parent class constructor, child should be responsible to initialize that particular constructor by using super keyword. Even if you want to call any method from parent to child, you need to use super.get, super.set. Okay, so every time when you are using constructor, your responsibility is it should be in a first line of a code. Then we discuss about a final keyword. Final keyword is having a special meaning in three places. One, if you are adding in front of a variable, it will become constant. When we are adding in front of a method, it will become, it cannot be overridden. And if you are adding in front of a class, you cannot inherit it, right? So that's it. Then we move to interface. Interface is nothing but a standard way of a standard. It will force child classes to implement methods. So what is interface? Interface is a fully abstract class. What is the meaning of fully abstract classes? It will have full abstract methods. What is full abstract methods? Means method without any body. It will have only declaration. It will not have any definition. So where the definition will come? It will be in child classes. It will force child classes to use that one. So what class methods called? Concrete method, because a method with body called concrete methods. Okay, those are the things we discussed, right? So any questions? We'll wait for 2 or 3 minutes and we'll close this call. Anyone is having any questions here? So today overloaded, huh?
The recording still good.
It's okay. So it's informal.
Body is called concrete body. Concrete method.
I will scold you. Okay. Tell me.